So there were a lot of comments very similar to this one that was pinned that were in the vein of, well, what if in the future, possibly, potentially, this child is faced with suffering or faced with abuse? And what about the right to the mother? What about bodily autonomy? And to that, I say you have to first have the right to life. You can't have any other right until you first have the right to life and to have your life being protected against unfair and unjust taking from another. Because a woman going through an unwanted pregnancy, like, you could just kill her and she won't have that pregnancy anymore. If she's dead, she won't have someone, quote unquote, feeding off of her body. But you can start seeing where that logic doesn't quite start adding up. Because you can kill off the homeless and they won't be homeless anymore. They'll also be dead. You can kill off those who are impoverished. You can't take your riches with you when you're dead. You can't be poor when you're dead. And you can start seeing where death does solve a lot of problems. It's also pretty genocidal. You can't feel pain when you're dead. You can't be in suffering when you're dead. And everyone has at some point in their life been in pain or suffered. That is the one thing that unites us as a humanity, is pain and suffering. Everyone goes through it. And if you were killed before it, you would be saved from it. Yeah, but I think most people want to also live their life. And so when you're talking about stuff like that, it's not death. Death isn't the solution. They need help. They need someone else to help them. But killing them off isn't just, that just cannot be the answer for life. And when it comes to the right to life, that is something that is very specifically enumerated in both our Declaration of Independence and in our Constitution, specifically in the 14th Amendment. So it's just something where we already have the law. It still technically applies, but right now we just don't want it to. And I think the right to life first begins at the beginning. That's just what makes sense. Any other time is something that's just arbitrary. And when it's arbitrary, is that it can often apply to people who have already been born. And so before you can even have the right to bodily autonomy, you have to first have the right to life. And that needs to be protected for all. Crazy concept.